So if you're standing in a sidewalk somewhere, maybe by Brickell or the Key Biscayne area here in Miami, Florida, and you feel a quick breeze and you look and you're like, what was that? It was probably this gentleman right here running, or I should say flying past you.
That's probably true.
Yes, it is. And I've witnessed that myself. This is Elliot Mason, my great friend and the owner of NuAge PC, joining us today. Thank you for being here, Elliot.
You're welcome.
So excited. So I'm Kedier Bay, the owner and founder of Simply M The Movement. This is the Spotlight interview where I bring my amazing friends, people that I meet along the journey of life that are just doing amazing things, sharing, giving of their talents, of their gifts, and making this world a better place. So Elliot, all things technology.
Exactly. And that has been the trend in my life for the last 18 years because that's when I started NuAge PC in 2005.
What a career.
I know.
And running very fast for how long?
35 years. Pretty much I ran out of the womb because I know I look 35.
And at neck-breaking speeds, what has been your fastest race so far?
Well, I started running since I was 9 years old and I have competed internationally for my native country of Antigua and Barbuda in track and field, in the Central America Caribbean Games, Caribbean Games, Pan American Games, Commonwealth Games. So, and these are different races that I have run over the last 35 years. So if I have to list out all of them,
It's too many to mention.
Too many to mention. But I think the one that stands out and most people can identify it with is when I was in college, I went to Florida International University in Miami, Florida, and I ran 4:10 in the mile while I was there. And then my fastest half marathon is 1:10, and then my fastest marathon is 2:32.
Holy smokes, folks.
Those times I know people can identify with because those are more popular races.
Yeah.
Oh, and the 5K, my fastest time in the 5K is 15:12.
Yeah. Well, I am mesmerized by Elliot because you just have an air about you. First of all, you're always so cool, calm, and collected. Okay? And technology can get very stressful, especially when you're selling.
Cool and collected.
Yes.
That's why I fit right into it.
That's right. And you're just so on point with your health. You're just on the dial with your business. I've had the pleasure of being your client for, like 15 years now?
Yes,
yeah.
Probably about 15 years.
Yes, so true story, the Simply M The Movement virtual dance classes are given thanks to NuAge PC, thanks to Elliot.
You're welcome.
I had the idea and I said, Elliot, how are we going to figure this out? And he said, don't worry, I got this.
Exactly.
And your amazing team came and set it up, and I really can't say enough. Now, you are also on the cutting edge of smart homes, of making homes automated. Tell us about that.
So one of the things that when I started NuAge PC, and as the name implies, New Age, NU, the new way of spelling new, is we decided whatever the technology is that's out there, we're going to make sure we have the knowledge and the know-how how to implement it and make it help to make people's life easier. So when it comes down to smart home, that's what it is. We implement equipments, technology into people's home that makes their life a little bit more easier to get through their day-to-day.
Yeah.
So for example, in some homes that we put the smart home technology in, once they walk in, they can just say, whatever the smart speaker is that we use, turn on the living room light and the lights come on. They can use their voice to turn on the TV. If they have cameras also, they can say, show me front door camera, just to make sure that they either turn off the lights and they close back the gate.
Right.
So they can see it right on the TV screen. Other smart stuff that we put into homes to make it smart is the thermostats. Now they have many thermostats. This is one of the most popular ones where you can use your voice to automate and set the temperature in your home. We use smart home technology to control the audio throughout the home. Pretty much anything that has electricity, we probably can automate it.
Yeah. And it's like that whole word, like smart. And I remember that I think, I'm the one who's not so smart. Like, I don't know how to use it. But there's never been a time that you and your team haven't implemented something for my home or for my business that you haven't made it so simple that then when folks see me, for example, set up my class and I have the mini computer, I have the conference camera and everything, they're like, oh my God, how are you figuring all this out? I'm like, because I had the perfect teachers who found the right products that would work for what I needed to do. And that's the difference, right?
Correct.
When you're properly guided.
And as our tagline said, computer problems, problem solved. In general, it's just technology problems, problem solved. So what we pride ourselves on is making technology simple and user-friendly for people that are using it. Because most people get overwhelmed and frustrated when it comes to using technology because it's something new. Anytime you're learning something new, it's always frustrating because of the learning curve.
Yes.
So our approach is to be teachers and implementers of how to use the future.
Yeah.
Because technology is the future.
It is, absolutely, and it's here. But the other thing that amazes me is the way that you guys provide service, the NuAge PC team. So
Correct.
Here locally in Florida, where we're recording this from, you service everything from West Palm Beach down to Monroe County, which is the Keys, and everything in between.
Correct.
So you guys are doing projects, but at the same time, you're servicing existing clients. So I've had moments that, something, technology, something goes wrong or something acted a little funky. There hasn't been a time I haven't reached out to you or your team that right away you're like, troubleshoot over the phone. It's like triage.
Correct. So it all boils down to service and treating every client like they're your only client, because when it's all said and done, there's other options out there in the market, but we pride ourselves on making sure that each client get the TLC, the tender loving care that should be given in every business that you work with. So you mentioned the smart homes and the service areas that we do. So one of the most sweetest projects that we like to embark on is like getting a home where it's being constructed and basically we do the infrastructure build out and how we're going to make that home smart, because that's like our playground. We can basically, if the customer have the budget and want those technology, we can basically give them a home that's future proof, meaning the technology that we put in it will be relevant for probably the next 20 years.
Wow, and that's super important.
Yes.
Because if, like you said, if you don't have your finger on the pulse and you know what's what, then you would be installing something that is like obsolete.
Exactly.
In like a year or two at the pace that things go.
And believe it or not, there is some of our competitors, obviously, in technology, once it's becoming closely obsolete, you can get it for real cheap.
Right.
Like, for example, when the big flat screen TVs came out first, they were super expensive. And then you can pretty much tell when there's a new one coming out because you see the price start dropping on the previous new one.
Right.
And rather than pushing that to the client because it's a little bit cheaper, we let them know, okay, this is the option. If you get this in 5 years, it's going to be obsolete. If you get this, at least the value will hold for another 10 years.
Yes.
Something like that. That's what we tell our clients to let them know.
Yeah,
present to our clients.
And that's the truth, because my other business, the property management business, two great examples. If anyone can relate to this, because we all try to navigate technology in different ways in our businesses and our personal lives. Every time that I needed to get a new desktop or a new laptop, you would always give me those options and say, this is option 1, but no this, and this is option 2.
Exactly.
And then security.
Yes. Yes.
Do you feel insecure?
Yes.
We need some security. So, I've always had this thing about, oh my God, having to look through footage. And I know that Ring cameras are out there and people feel like, oh, I can put this up myself. But no, the way you guys go about it,
exactly.
You make the whole system work.
Exactly, because some people, obviously most of these tech products, they sell them as do-it-yourself because that's the way you get it moved off of the shelf. You never want to tell the end user, oh, after you buy this, you need to hire a technician to put it in. And also, in that same boat, some of the technology that is out there it's better if you have a professional install it, because then it work the way it should rather than the way you think it should work when you install it.
Yeah.
So what we do when it comes to the security camera technology, there's many different types. We basically sit down with a client and say, okay, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you just trying to just get alerts? Are you trying to get somebody that is doing something? And once we figure out what they're trying to accomplish, then we come up with a solution. One of the biggest tech that's out there now in terms of security cameras is smart cameras rather than the regular traditional CCTV cameras. The smart cameras simply mean that the footage is stored in the cloud. So if for some reason your property get broken into, no one can actually go to the closet or where they think that you're storing the footage and grab the DVR, take it away, and then you have no footage because the footage is in the cloud.
Yes.
So they have no way of taking the footage away from you. And that technology is obviously great because if for some reason something happened, the power goes out and the footage cannot be lost. Like if we have a flood or a hurricane or something, that won't prevent you from getting the footage because it's in the cloud. And those cameras, the playback on those are extremely user-friendly compared to the traditional CCTV cameras.
Absolutely. And I learned all of that thanks to you.
You're welcome.
And here in the South Florida market, really there's a lot of buildings because we have a lot of associations, condominiums, commercial, mixed use. You do a lot of retail, restaurants, right? And knowing what you need for each specific building, for the property, for the group of people that either work or live there, that's everything.
Correct.
Yeah. So I can vouch for you 1,000%.
I know.
I
Because
know.
we have done many, many buildings here, especially in one of the biggest one I think we have done for you is a 9-story building in Miami Beach that we install, I want to say about 25 Ring cameras, and we make it work so seamless.
So
and the people
seamlessly.
are so happy
Yeah.
with how it just came out. And every time I look at that project, I'm like, I don't think any of my competitors would ever
No,
come
and
up with.
truth
with
be
such
told, like the slightest
sweet-
thing happens and the condo board members just go and they find the footage right away and they're like, here it is.
Yeah.
And they're just in love with the whole system.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I wanted to mention. I know that you do big projects even in Orlando, in Las Vegas. So in this case, what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas because kudos to you, NuAge PC on the other coast.
Yes, so for most of those other areas other than Miami that we do projects are more commercial projects. So we have a lot of commercial clients in Las Vegas simply because one of our clients here basically opened his mouth over there and spread the good word about us, NuAge PC, and the rest was history. So we have stores that we service in the Fashion Show Mall in Las Vegas, in Palazzo, in Venetian, and most of these retail stores, what we do is the music that you hear that makes you feel comfortable and get in the spending mood when you walk into the store.
That's strategic music.
Strategic music, thanks to me.
Nice.
Thanks to NuAge PC.
I love it. And that's the really amazing thing about the business model that you've created, the culture with your company and your team, is that even if you're doing these obviously very big, important projects and publics, like you said, every individual, every business owner feels like they're your only client.
Exactly.
And that's not something that you find everywhere and just anywhere.
I think I inherit that from my country of origin, Antigua and Barbuda, because in Antigua and Barbuda, tourism is our main industry. So service is something that has to be on point because we have nothing to fall back on. We have no natural resource. We don't export anything. It's all about tourism. So we have to make sure every tourist that comes to the small country of Antigua and Barbuda, the population is like 80,000. So tourism is something that we thrive on. We basically make sure that every tourist that passed through the country spread the word of the gem in the Caribbean.
Yes, I love that. And they want to come back, and they want to tell their friends.
And it's the same thing I do in my company. And they want to come back.
They want to spread the love.
Spread the love.
Which is exactly how I feel from the bottom of my heart about Elliot and his team and NuAge PC. I can't say it enough.
Thank you.
I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because when I had the idea for Simply M the movement,
Yes, I
you
remember.
actually helped me bring it to life.
I know. You're welcome.
And that means the world to me. Everyone just absolutely adores you. Everyone that does business with you, we trust you. You're just a steadfast beacon of light
Thank you.
in this business world. Thank you for being an example for all of us.
You're welcome.
So if anyone wants to feel the love from NuAge PC, get those technology problems solved, where can they find you, Elliot?
So first, you can find us on obviously the World Wide Web at www.nuagepc.com, and as I said, the new way of spelling new, NuAgepc.com, or you can also use our vanity number, which is 877 NuAge PC. So 877, the company name, and that's how you can find us. And obviously, email is also another means of finding us, or Google, anywhere, we're everywhere.
That's right. They're everywhere. And if you're a runner and if you're out there and you just see a flash or you just feel the wind, that was Elliot just flying by.
And real quick before you go.
Yeah, we won't go there. Tell me.
I have created something that basically combined my knowledge of technology, information science, and my knowledge of exercise science, because I actually have a degree in exercise science also. I created a mobile application 5 years ago that's basically transforming the running landscape, and the mobile application is called RunAdic, RunAdic. And what this mobile application does, it's a mobile application that basically is the Uber of running. If you want to find someone in your city to run with, all you would do is open up this mobile app and it will show you all the runners in your city, so you don't have to run alone before the crack of dawn.
Yes, that's great. So the Uber of running, I love that. My goodness. His expertise just knows no end. So NuAge PC, the RunAdic app, you need to connect with Elliot. Thank you for being with us today. Remember, stay happy, stay positive, be blessed, and be a blessing. See you again soon.
Thank you very much, Katie.
You're welcome, Elliot. Thank you.